What's up guys, and welcome back to another video on this channel. Today we will look at one of the two brand new hybrid challenges. This past week EA added two new hybrid challenges, and as you can see on the screen right now, they're called the Pacific Rim Tour and the European Tour Part 2. Now, just like in the past release cycles of these hybrid challenges, there's one easier one, the blue one in this case, the Pacific Rim Tour, and there's one more difficult one, in this case it's the European Tour Part 2. Today we look at the first one, the Pacific Rim Tour. Obviously also a nice benefit of waiting a little bit to do these challenges is by now there is a nice team of the week out there, plus there is the team of the knockout stage for both Champions League and Europa League, so there's a bunch of nice players that you can currently pull. Now, Pacific Rim Tour, there's 4 teams that we have to complete, and there's Australia, Chile, Japan and Korea Republic. 3 of those 4 teams share one thing: that's the National League has not yet been released as a squad building challenge league. So what I'll do about this, I will tell you in a second, but for now, let's start with Japan, because that league has already been released. For Japan, you need 7 Japanese players out of 11 different clubs with an overall rating of 58, so that already tells you it's not too difficult. And as you can also see, it's a full bronze team, super easy to do, and as I said before, this league has been released already as a squad building challenge, so I don't worry at all about giving up these players. Just make sure you have 11 different teams, which is not a problem because the league has more than 11 teams. So just pick one player out of each club, basically for every position, and you should be done quite fast, and it's super easy actually. But however, the reward only a silver pack. Never mind, let's cash this in for now and move on to the next one. And I say we go with Australia next. And Australia is one of the leagues I talked before. Their national league has not yet been released as a squad building challenge. And I'm not quite sure why EA picked those 4 leagues to release them as a Pacific Rim Tour. Might be that they want us to get rid of those players from those leagues and then release them as an SBC, so people have to buy those players again from the market. Not quite sure, but I'll do one thing about that. In actually all 3 cases, I do not use players from their respective leagues. So I don't use players from the Australian league in here. As you can see, you need 4 Australian players in their team, and my players come from the Scottish League, the Second English League, the Dutch League and the Japanese League, so I do not use any player from the Australian League. The rest of the team, given that it's only a 60 rated team that you need to submit, is just a bunch of players from the Saudi Arabian League. That league has already been featured. I don't need these players. I will not need them those players in the future. Let's submit this for a silver players pack. As you can see by the rewards we've pulled so far as well, 1 silver pack and 1 silver players pack. These challenges are not meant to be difficult, as well as the rewards, they are not meant to be great. So let's just quickly go through those 2 remaining challenges and open those packs quickly. And then in the next video, we'll focus on the big one, the European Tour Part 2. Next up is Chile. As I said before, this league has not been released yet either. So for the 5 Chilean players that you need, I again use players that do not play in the Chilean league. So I have 1 from the MLS, 1 from the Spanish league, 1 from the Bundesliga, 1 from the Mexican league and 1 from the Turkish Super League, so I don't lose any players from the Colombian league. The rest of the team, basically my back 5 are all from the EFL Championship, just a bunch of bronzes to get to the 71 rating requirement for that team. Not too difficult, and as I said before, the gold pack is basically the downside here. The rewards are not the best. Nevertheless, let's do the final team, the Korean Republic. Again, not featured as a League SBC yet, so I don't use players from the Korean League. You need 6 Korean players though, so what I do is I use, most of my players are from the Japanese League. I have 1 Korean player from the Bundesliga, and then all the others come from the Japanese League. As you can see, Japanese, 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 Japanese. Everybody except that Bundesliga players from the Japanese League. Fortunately for us, they do have a bunch of Korean players, so it's not too difficult to get 6 of them from the Japanese league. The rest, as you can see right here, just a bunch of Japanese players as well. Doesn't really matter, you only need a 68 rated squad. Pretty easy if you have a bunch of Japanese players, or from the Japanese league I should rather say, and then you get an all players pack as a reward. Now this completes the Pacific Rim Tour, so in a second we should also be rewarded with the overall reward, which in this case I think is one of those Electrum packs. Yes, it is a premium Electrum players pack, so the better version of the 2 new pack types. But obviously, given that there's a lot of silver players in there, you might not even get a rare gold card. Nonetheless, as I said before, these challenges done for free. You have these players anyways. A lot of them come from the bronze pack method, so you shouldn't worry about spending any coins really on that challenge. Let's open those 5 packs. Let's go with the silver packs first, then the all players packs, and then the 2 gold packs that we have. Silver pack first, nothing pops up here, so let's skip that real quick and see what we have here. Bunch of contracts that will be useful eventually, but apart from that, nothing really that we should be happy about really. I guess the foot healing card was still the best card, given that it sells for 850 coins on the transfer market at the moment, at least if you... That's what I get when I do the bronze pack method. Silver players pack is next. Angel Di Maria on the pack, who's also in the current team of the week, so it would be pretty neat to pull him in one of the gold packs that we are about to open in this video, plus obviously also in the packs that we'll get from the European Tour Part 2. Where actually the overall reward, and as you look at the players here, nothing really in here that we need to talk about. Let's quickly send all this to the club. We'll use some of the players eventually in SBCs, but nothing that needs to be talked about right now. Those 4 boys go to the transfer list. I'll list them up later. But now we have 3 gold packs. Well, 1 all players packs who contains a couple of gold players, 1 gold pack, and then a premium election players pack as the main event. All players pack is next. We get 1 for Flair though, which is obviously because there's 1 rare player. Let's see whether it's a gold one. It is not a gold one, it's a bronze one, so actually the worst that could happen. However, Rafinha will be useful eventually. I'm pretty sure there's 1 more Bayern Munich SBC to come, but probably because of the German Cup or the Bundesliga, because they have just been eliminated from the Champions League, so they will not be featured in any of the upcoming international marquee matchups anymore. That was the regular gold pack. Now we the all players pack. Now we have the regular gold pack and then the premium Electrum players pack gold pack. Let's see, there's only 1 rare player in here, 1 rare card, I should rather say, as the player pops up is Kron Daly from Sevilla, 81 rated. Kind of useful because the new challenges that are out there, and as you can see, the rare card is the contract here. The new challenges for the team of the knockout stage, you need a lot of 80 rated players, given that the rating requirements are 82, 83, and 84, I think. So you need players that are rated in the mid 80 range. Now guys, the main event, the premium Electrum players pack for the Pacific Rim Tour, SBC, 12 cards, 6 gold, 3 rare. So hopefully a couple of those rares are gold players. Let's see what we get. We have 1 rare gold card, at least a striker from Burnley. That is great. That's not too bad. He's fast. It's not a player I'd use a lot, but it's definitely a player that is useful for SBCs because he's English and he's from the BPL. So he gets quite a nice amount of blinks if you put him up in your squads. The rest of the players not really worth talking about again. A lot of players that we don't have in our club yet, so that is probably the best feature of these of this Pacific Rim Tour SBC. The chance to pull an amazing player is rather low, given that the packs aren't the greatest, but the teams were basically free to complete. You get a bunch of packs, a bunch of players that are useful for future SBCs potentially, but as I said, it doesn't cost you anything, guys. That's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you pull from your Pacific Rim Tour SBC, and I'll be back with the European Tour Part 2 SBC, where I think the reward pack is a 50k pack. So there's actually, we have a decent chance to pull an amazing player. For this video, I'm done, and I will see you in the next one, guys.